Hey everybody, welcome out to this exciting edition of the Top 5. Now, why is it exciting, Andy? Why is this one exciting?
This one's exciting because we're doing a top 5 on a new game that's coming out. You might have heard of it. It's called The Other M.
Yes, Metroid is one of our favorite series. Now, we would throw in some honorable mentions, but they're only about 10 games, give or take.
What you gonna do?
Yeah, so we're no honorable mentions, but we are going to talk about the worst game of the series. Yes, that is correct. One of the first DS titles, Metroid Prime Hunters, first-person shooter.
I feel like I have to go wash my hands after touching this.
Yes, it's a terrible game. It just, the controls, the level design, it might have had a couple of good ideas. I did like some of the cutscenes. This is the worst game that Metroid has ever...
Well, at least the box looks like one of those old baseball cards.
Oh, it's a little reflective. Yeah, they're trying
That's
to make
about
you
the best feature of this game is this box. It opens, you can get the game out, it closes.
I'd be honest, that game's worthless. But Metroid's been around for a long time, back to the original NES. And of course, she is one of the first females in gaming, or female leads in gaming, so that, I know that's a pretty big deal. So I guess let's get right to the list.
Number 5.
Metroid 2, The Return of Samus. Now, this game on the Game Boy was amazing.
I love the Game Boy. I love the original Game Boy because I felt like when I was playing this thing, I had the experience of my NES in my hands. Like I felt like, other than the fact that I love that we have backlights now and that you can play it anywhere instead of having to like tilt that screen to that perfect angle.
It was the first really good handheld system, and this game just accented it very well. The graphics were amazing. The sound effects were okay. If you go to a soundboard and listen to them, they kind of screech a little bit in your ears, but for the time it was amazing. And then, of course, if you haven't played the game, basically there was mutated Metroids, and you had to lower the sea level to get to each area, but they unleashed new weapons and abilities. I mean, the sticky ball, I always thought was really cool.
Yeah, super cool. You could roll up the walls.
Yeah, roll upside down up the walls, and you actually have to do that to beat the game. And then, the only problem I have with that game, I was glad you could save it on the Game Boy too, which is also a rare feature for when that came out.
And also, I think that what was so awesome is just the Game Boy itself as a system, the box. Like, I don't know about you guys, but when I was a kid and I saw this size wrapped up in a gift-size package,
You knew it was coming. You just didn't know
you could
what
feel
was
you
coming.
could feel the weight.
Yeah.
And then you could see the size, this perfect square here that you got going on instead of the more Nintendo-shaped rectangle. And you knew that you were going to be a very happy boy for at least a few months.
Number 4.
All right, number 4 on our list. This is gonna
It's a diamond in the rough.
It's gonna maybe tick some people off. We go, what?
Yeah.
How could you pick that over blah blah blah? Yes, it is Metroid Pinball.
That's right. Now, Metroid Prime Pinball, of course, it was after, of course, Metroid Prime. So, what I loved about this, for one, it was a solid DS pinball game, and those are rare.
Solid pinball game that
In
is not a
general.
pinball machine. Even a pinball machine, most of them suck.
Yeah, but this thing was amazing. It had where you could level up and change levels in the middle of the game, and that's what made it really fun. Also, as you rolled into a ball in the center of the screen, you get to shoot and blow things up, and they have boss fights. And you can actually beat the game. And for a pinball game where I can beat the game, and of course there's a challenge after that, but I loved it. I played the crap out of it, and we would go back and forth with high scores. As far as pinball games go, it is, I know this is not a true Metroid game, but, listen, look at this. I even have the display box because the game is that awesome.
You know what? I'm calling it right now. I'm so excited about this game that we're about to leave to go to Las Vegas for my bachelor party.
You're stealing it from me?
We're gonna play this on the airplane.
Yes, because we will challenge ourselves. But it's an amazing game. If you are any kind of pinball fan, even if it's you don't like the digital pinball, this is the best one to get. The most fun, the graphics, the sound.
Good use of the dual screen too.
The cutscenes, they were cutscenes in a pinball game that were a lot of fun. Highly recommend this game. It had to be on the list. I know it's a little different, but it's
if you haven't played this game and you're a Metroid fan at all, and you've got a DS, go pick it up.
Beat the game. It's a good challenge. It is a good challenge.
Number 3.
All right, number 3 on our list, the one that started it all.
A little obvious, but you know what? It set the standard. Of course, this and Kid Icarus use the same engine. We were talking earlier in the show. First female lead character. Everything about this game was amazing at the time. Secret walls to beat games. You could cheat and use the Justin Bailey code to become the green-haired girl, but it also had multiple endings, which was really, really fun at the time, and
really challenging too. Like, you know,
it's a hard game.
If you could beat this game in under 10 hours, you're pretty good. If you could beat this game in under 3 hours, you're really good. If you can beat this game in under an hour,
which gives you a bikini,
which is really kind of weird. It's like, you know, when we were talking about this list, it's almost like they were like, it's pretty risque, you know what I mean, for Nintendo, like a good wholesome company like Nintendo, to say, you know what your bonus is going to be for getting
more nakedness
is a boner.
That's gross. Anyway, the game that started it all had to be on the list, but it's not number one. There's been games that have surpassed it. We could talk all day about this game, but let's go to number 2.
Number 2.
All right, this was really hard, guys. Number 2 on our list. Oh, it's so tough to say it, and we had to pick Metroid Prime.
Now, Metroid Prime, I thought was going to suck ass. I was like, they gave it to this random studio, and
it's gonna be first person. You're like,
first person shooter. I'm like, great. What are they doing to ruin this series? It's one of my favorite series of all time. This turned out to be one of my favorite games. I mean, it's not as long as you'd like it to be, but it's so fun that you're gonna beat it twice.
Yep, it really defined the GameCube. It was one of those landmark games.
Love the heads-up display, like it's your visor.
Then you switch into third person when you're rolling around on the ball.
Yeah, no.
Soundtrack completely immersive, great soundtrack. I mean, we have the soundtrack for this game. How many tracks are there? There's like 80.
There are like 80, and one cool thing is you could also connect, I don't even remember, to the Game Boy version of Metroid Fusion,
right, yeah,
to unlock the Fusion suit and do other things. So when they started experimenting with connectivity, of course I had to buy the thing to link it together to get the Fusion suit. But it was shockingly good, and that's why it's so high on the list, because it just redeemed the series and kind of rebooted it.
This was tough for me because I do think the GameCube is superior, but I will say that the Wii version, to be able to play with
the motion controls,
the motion controls is pretty fun.
Now, if you are going to try to find this game and you don't want to play it on the GameCube, of course you can buy the trilogy on the Wii, which is going to be hard to find because nobody picked it up for some reason. I have no idea. Yeah, we got
it's
a copy.
It's like the coolest
too.
case ever. It's metal, core, heavy duty. You can pretty much take the second game and throw it away.
Yeah, but don't play that, guys.
But yeah, I mean, definitely being able to play it with the Wiimote's a whole lot of fun, and you get a cool poster, and you get to play, I think, one of the best video games ever made in Metroid Prime. I think that from the first level where you're on that space station, you kind of look around and see the sky and see the graphics. That's a GameCube too. I mean, it's funny to think now that that's outdated, but you go back and play this game, it holds up.
You're still gonna enjoy playing it.
Yep. Yeah. It's like going through and playing Half-Life, the Half-Life series again. It's just one of those games that it's just was well made. It's just good, and you can pick it up still. I bet you pick it up 10 years from now and still say, wow, this looks really pretty.
It's a fun game.
Pretty good, pretty fun.
Yeah.
Number 1.
Number 1 is definitely not a shocker, but you know what? You can't deny it. Super Metroid is the best Metroid game to date. Now, will Metroid Other M, surpass it? I don't know. But this right now is the best game. Andy, tell them why.
Oh man.
Soundtrack was amazing.
The soundtrack is great. The ending is phenomenal. I mean, it's an emotion. For me as a kid, when you're going through and beating this game, I don't want to spoil anything for anybody that really hasn't played what I will go out on a limb to say maybe the best game ever made. It's a fun ending. It's unexpected. It's full of suspense.
Even the beginning is fun. You start out on the space station. It's Nintendo 1994, and then it like fades in and out.
And you got Voyage, the last
yeah,
is in captivity.
You'd be surprised. I actually work out to that song. Yeah, just as you push. Yeah, but anyway, everything about it was cool. They pretty much just like tripled the type of game and gameplay that they had on the Game Boy and the Nintendo. Gave us new power-ups, gave us sweet-ass boss enemies that have been copied and pasted in a lot of the DS versions. We didn't put a lot of those on here because I feel like a lot of those are pretty much this, just multiplied. But this is still completely amazing. Yes, it's just side-scrolling, but it did have like the look-through walls, the Ultra Power Bomb, I can't think of what it's called.
And
Screw Attack.
Yeah, like the nuclear bomb. Yeah, the thing about this game is that you another one of those games, you can pick it up and play it today. But the thing is that this game It's hard. And like, it's not Metroid 1 hard, because Metroid 1 is a difficulty that's like maybe a little unintentional, because you just get lost. You have no idea where you are. You have to draw your own maps to figure out what's going on. But this one, you didn't. You know, so it's one of these games where, you know, you can't just fly through it. Like I think that's where this gets the edge over Prime, is that Prime is fun, but it is not as challenging as Super Metroid is.
Well, I kind of wish that they'd bring back that gun that you finished the last boss on in this game. I think they kind of did in one of the other games. I can't remember which one, but the ultimate gun, since you get saved at the end. Great game, great story, great gameplay. This is number 1. Now, will Metroid Other M, like we said, you know, make the list if we ever do another one? I don't know yet. We'll heard one bad thing about it though. You cannot run while you're in first-person mode. So when you're first-person, you have to shoot and stay at the same place.
Well, we'll see what Team Ninja has. I enjoy the Ninja Gaiden series quite a bit. I think the reboot on Xbox was really, really good.
Now, here's something fun. At the end of these games, you know, they show her in a bikini. Do you think because Team Ninja's Team Ninja, her breasts are going to be like out here if you beat it in under like an hour?
There's probably a volleyball scene.
Yeah.
At the end. They're like space volleyball.
You think Samus is going to be in the next DOA beach volleyball?
Probably.
It could happen. I don't even know. That's just weird.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that 1 out of 5 for the Other M right now. I'm gonna give it a 3.
Really?
I'm not expecting a lot from this group. I think they've done a great job, but I think they're stepping a little outside of their ability level.
I'm hoping it's going to be like Retro Studios, and they're just going to totally blow my mind, and this is going to be another whole new start for Metroid. Now, will it be? We'll see. But I am already pre-ordered it. I think you should too. Support the Metroid series so we can get more great games from them. Anyway, thanks for watching our top 5. Let us know what you think. I know several of you want the DS and the Game Boy Advance versions on there, but that's not on our list. So join us again next week.